I stared at my empty paycheck thinking it was a mistake. But it wasn't. My brother got $100,000 and I got zero. And the worst part? Everyone acted like I should be grateful. That's when I decided. They thought I was worth nothing. I would show them how wrong they were. Our family business didn't begin as anything special. It was small, messy, and built with long nights, shared meals, and everyone doing whatever they could. My father always said he treated us equally, but I learned early that equality in our house was selective. My brother was the golden child from the very first day. Every decision, every plan, every investment, he was always the one chosen. If a new opportunity came, it was handed to him. If a big client arrived, he was introduced as the future of the company. Meanwhile, I worked the same hours he did. Sometimes more. I lifted the same boxes, made the same calls, handled the same stress. But no matter how hard I worked, there was always one sentence waiting for me. Your brother is the future of this family. Hearing that over and over again didn't just hurt, it shaped everything that came next. Payday was supposed to be simple. You pick up your envelope, you move on with your day. But that morning the whole office felt tense. People whispered to each other, glanced at me, then quickly looked away. I didn't understand why, but I would soon. When HR handed me my envelope, I opened it casually, and then froze. Printed clearly in bold letters was $0. Zero. Not even a mistake like $5 or $10. Just nothing. For a moment I honestly thought it had to be some system error. Maybe payroll messed up. Maybe someone typed the wrong number. But before I could even ask, my brother walked in, loud, proud, waving a thick envelope like he had just won the lottery. He hadn't won anything. He had been given a $100,000 bonus. The office clapped for him. My father shook his hand. My brother smirked at me, enjoying every second of it. When I finally asked my father what happened, he didn't hesitate. He didn't even look apologetic. He just said, "You'll get your turn one day." But I'd been waiting for over a decade. And in that moment I realized they never planned on giving me anything, except disappointment. That night they invited me to dinner. Not out of love, not out of concern, just to clear things up. The table was set like it always was, but the air felt heavy. My mother kept giving me soft smiles, the kind she used when she wanted me to stay calm. My father looked serious, as if I had done something wrong. And my brother, he sat there too relaxed, enjoying the attention his bonus had brought him. My father started first. "We didn't mean to upset you," he said in a tone that suggested he didn't think I should be upset at all. My mother chimed in, "You're still learning. These things take time." She spoke like I was a child who didn't understand how the world worked. But I did understand. I understood perfectly. My father continued, "Your brother brings more value right now. He deserves the reward. Your time will come." That phrase, "your time will come," felt like a slap. It's what they'd been saying since I was 18. Meanwhile, my brother sat there smirking into his plate, trying not to laugh. They expected me to accept it. To nod, to swallow my pride, to smile like everything was fine. But something inside me shifted that night. I wasn't angry. I wasn't emotional. I was done. After that dinner, I went to my room, closed the door, and sat in silence for a long time. Not because I was hurt, because I was thinking. Planning. For the first time in my life, I saw my family exactly as they were. They didn't see me as a partner or an equal or even someone with potential. They saw me as a backup. Someone who existed only to support the golden child when things went wrong. So I made a decision that very night. I was going to leave. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Not with threats or warnings. I was going to slip out of the system they trapped me in, quietly, carefully, and completely. I didn't say anything to them. I didn't cause scenes. I didn't beg for fairness. Instead, I started paying attention to everything around me. The contacts we worked with. The suppliers who liked me more than my brother. The clients who trusted me because I solved problems without bragging. The small gaps in the business that no one cared about. Every skill I had learned over the years, most of which they had ignored, I started sharpening. Every connection I made, I wrote down. Every weakness in the company I memorized. I wasn't planning revenge. I was planning freedom. They had made it clear I would always be second. So I started building a path where I could finally be first. I knew better than to walk out suddenly. That's what they expected. An emotional exit, a dramatic outburst, something they could twist into immaturity. So I did the opposite. I became calm. Silent. Predictable. I showed up on time, did only what was required and nothing more. No extra hours. No late night calls. No jumping in to fix the mistakes my brother kept making. At first they didn't notice. My brother was too busy celebrating his bonus to care. My father assumed I was getting over it. But the office noticed. The team noticed. Because for years I had been the one quietly keeping everything together. And when I stopped filling in the cracks started to show. Projects began slipping behind schedule. Clients started complaining that things weren't running smoothly. My brother blamed the staff, but everyone knew the truth. They were used to me handling the hard parts. Without me doing the quiet behind-the-scenes work, the company felt different, weaker. My father called me into his office one morning, trying to sound firm. "What's going on with you?" he asked. I simply replied, "I'm doing my job. Nothing more. Nothing less." That's when he really started to worry. Because he could sense it. I was still there. But they were already losing me. While they were busy trying to understand what had changed in me, I was quietly building the life they never believed I could have. Every evening after work, I sat down with my laptop and reached out to people I'd met over the years. Clients, suppliers, old contacts who used to say, "If you ever do your own thing, let me know." Back then, I didn't take those words seriously. But now they were my starting point. I didn't announce anything. I didn't brag. I simply asked people what problems they needed solved. And surprisingly, most of those problems were things I had already been solving for my family business. Without credit, without recognition, and without pay. Slowly, my evenings turned into a small side job. I started consulting, helping small businesses streamline operations, organize staff, fix communication issues, and handle clients properly. The same skills my father dismissed as basic were earning me real money. And the best part? My clients respected me. They listened. They valued my time. Within a few months, what started as a quiet experiment became a real, steady income. I didn't tell my family because I didn't owe them an explanation. They had already shown me what I meant to them. I wasn't escaping anymore. I was growing. I was stepping into a version of myself they never bothered to see. And I wasn't stopping. It happened on a random Tuesday morning. Nothing special, nothing dramatic. I was eating breakfast when my father called, his voice tight and stressed. "Get to the office," he said. "Your brother messed up a major contract. We need you to fix it." For years, that sentence had been my cue to drop everything and run. But this time, I didn't move. I didn't even stand up from my chair. I calmly replied, "I don't work there anymore." There was a long, heavy silence on the other end. Then my father snapped, "Don't be ridiculous. This is family." I took a breath and said the words I'd been holding in for years. "I've already built something of my own." He didn't know how to respond. I could almost hear him trying to piece together a version of reality where I still needed them. But that version didn't exist anymore. I wasn't the confused, obedient son waiting for approval. I wasn't the backup. I wasn't the one patching their mistakes. My brother grabbed the phone and started yelling, blaming me, accusing me of abandoning them, acting like I owed them my entire life. But the louder he got, the calmer I felt. Because they finally understood something I had known for months. I wasn't theirs to control anymore. I had already walked away, long before I said the words out loud. After that phone call, everything in their world shifted. For the first time, they had to face a problem without me standing quietly in the background, cleaning up the mess. And the truth hit them fast and hard. The person they thought was replaceable was actually holding the entire structure together. Within weeks, deadlines started slipping. Clients who trusted my consistency grew frustrated with my brother's arrogance and carelessness. He tried to handle the same responsibilities I used to manage effortlessly, but he lacked patience, discipline, and the ability to listen. He made promises he couldn't keep, overlooked important details, and blamed everyone but himself. My father tried stepping in, but he had grown too used to depending on me. He didn't realize how much I had been doing, silently, constantly, and without recognition. Without my late-night emails, my organized reports, my problem-solving, the company began to feel unstable. Even the employees felt the shift. They whispered about how different things were. How unpredictable. How stressful. Meanwhile, my brother's confidence turned into panic. The golden child shine wore off quickly once real pressure hit. He lost a major contract, then another, and then the one my father believed would secure their future. The house that relied on me so heavily suddenly had to stand on its own legs. And everyone finally saw how shaky those legs really were. They didn't lose money first. They lost control. And then they lost the illusion that I had been nothing. While their world was slowly cracking, mine was finally taking shape, quietly, steadily, and on my own terms. The consulting work I had started in the evenings grew faster than I ever expected. Clients appreciated what I did because I delivered results without ego. Word spread, and soon people were contacting me through referrals, asking if I could help fix their systems, train their staff, or stabilize their operations. I hired one assistant, then two. I rented a small office, not fancy but mine. Every step forward felt like a breath of fresh air. I didn't need anyone's approval. I didn't have to fight for recognition. Every bit of progress came from my own effort, my own decisions, my own growth. For the first time in my life, I felt seen. Not by my family, not by people trying to measure me against my brother, but by myself. I realized I was capable of far more than they ever allowed me to believe. All the years of being overlooked had built something inside me: patience, resilience, and a work ethic my brother could never match. Money wasn't the best part, though it came steadily. The real victory was freedom. I woke up each day excited, not exhausted. I chose my clients, my schedule, my path. They had given my brother $100,000. I had given myself something worth more than that: independence, confidence, and a life where my value didn't need anyone's permission. And I was just getting started. Months later, my father showed up at my office. He didn't storm in. He didn't yell. He just stood there quietly watching me organize my schedule. For the first time he seemed unsure. We should have appreciated you," he finally said. His voice carried the weight of regret, the kind that comes when someone realizes they've taken too much for granted. I didn't need an apology. I didn't need excuses. I had already built my life without them, on my own terms. My brother, who had once smirked at my zero paycheck, stayed silent. The golden child suddenly looked small, powerless, and unsure, exactly the way I had felt for years. I simply smiled, nodded, and continued my work. Because in that moment, nothing they said mattered anymore. I was no longer the son they could overlook. I was my own person, and I was unstoppable. Looking back, the paycheck, the smirks, the excuses, they weren't failures. They were lessons. Lessons about trust, about seeing people for who they really are, and about realizing your own worth. Sometimes family won't recognize it. Sometimes the people closest to you will take what you give for granted. But that doesn't mean your value is zero. It means you need to create your own path, your own success, and your own respect. Walking away isn't betrayal, it's survival. Standing up for yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. I left a family that never truly saw me, and in doing so I found a life where I am recognized, respected, and unstoppable. And the truth is clear. I didn't lose anything by leaving. They lost me. Sometimes the biggest wake-up call in life isn't a warning. It's realizing your worth and refusing to let anyone take it from you.